Oh,
Just so
Duracell. Cool.
utilitarian, it's like, they make things for that, right? He's like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I got this
Yeah.
dead battery out of one of my pedals. I'm just going to roll with it.
I thought it was out the back of one of his old Furbies, but anyway. Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Les Audiophiles. My name's John. His name is Andy.
Oui.
Still, this pulsing night, a plague I call a heartbeat. Just be still with me. You wouldn't believe what I've been through. More on that later, but first, we have a song to listen to. Andy, what have you got for us?
We are going to be returning to the Audiotree and revisiting a band. Yes, shake the music out of it. And we are going to be listening to a band that you are becoming more and more familiar with, and I think like really, really liking more and more as you hear them. And that's
Let me guess. Oh, I was going to say, is it Casey and the Sunshine Band?
No, no, it's a band we've actually covered on the channel. Yeah, it's going to be Oh Brother, and I'm going to have you listen to a track of theirs performed for Audiotree called Lay Down.
I mean, just out of interest, how many bloody tracks have they done for Audiotree?
Oh my, I think I think they've gone in there after like 3 of their albums released and done like 5 songs from each of them.
Wow.
So, yeah,
there's a lot. Yeah, because
they're
always really good quality as well. And I'm very familiar with the setup now.
Yeah,
because it's like familiar territory. There's this, the setup and everything. All right,
the only way you can really discern like when chronologically this came out is like the scraggly nature. Yeah, the scraggly nature of Tanner Barrett's hair. So the longer and scragglier it is the earlier stuff. So there's
and the beard fell out a little bit more.
Yes, exactly. So,
cool. All right, I shall go off and listen to Oh Brother.
Excellent. Let me know what you think.
I like this beginning, full of atmosphere. I love the way the bass just growls up coming in as well, and the drumming's giving this sort of skitterish feel to it as well. Full of promise.
So I'm bound for the iron.
So we had this starting with this sonic build-up, and then it goes into quite a pretty melody, actually, and he's singing fairly relaxed. And I'm thinking, this is about as mainstream as I've heard from them. Very pleasant. And now we get the raw. Cell battery class.
Your tired hands to ground as blood feeds the dirt which you're bound and all lay down. You find that we prepare
Oh man, that guitar coming in just then sounded so good. Right.
your tired hands to ground as blood feeds the dirt which you're bound and all lay down.
the fantastic performance on Audiotree. God damn, that drummer's good. There's quite a dense song. It didn't really unfurl easily. Song structure wise is quite interesting. It wasn't just loud, quiet, loud, quiet. God, it's so intriguing. There's so much. I'll have to listen to this another 10 times, I think. But yeah, I loved it. It's interesting the way they've put it forward, because if you'd have started playing with this song halfway through, where he's going for it and almost growling and roaring, I was like, yeah, this isn't my thing at all. But the way they've put it together and led up to it, just superb. Just superb. Right, let's get back to Andy and talk some more.
Welcome back.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
and thank you for the mint to my pillow as well.
At least I could do plus your breath.
Yeah, it's interesting. It starts with this sort of air raid guitar and skittish drumming, which isn't that unusual. And a growling sort of bass also gives us, so it gives us a nice atmospheric opening. Again, it's fairly sort of elongated. And it's strange because I can't tell you the picture it's painting in my mind, but I feel that I'm fully in their world already, and I sort of recognize I'm there. I just don't know what it looks like, which is what I've kind of come to expect from this band. So there's a couple of eerie echoes from guitar, and it leads us into the main melody. And it's quite a surprise because, for now anyway, it's a very pretty little melody that's quite almost mainstream sounding. There's a little touch of U2 from the guitars, which is quite, fun. As your man starts singing, the bass sounds so good. One of the guitars is purely doing like brush strokes over the rest of the music. It's atmospherics, isn't it? And then we get that first crack of the dam, and the band punch out a heavy volley. The singer starts to sort of, roar. Take it as read, I did not hear or understand a word he said, but he was singing, I presume, words, and it sounded good. So then they go back into the melody with loads more atmospherics as well. I am getting some I know I say this a lot, but I am getting some Unforgettable Fire vibes again. There is a lot going on at this point. One of the guitars sounds so pure, almost sort of Midwestern sound, like it's howling at the moon. So again, I don't know why this happened in my mind, but it did. So overall, the complete sonic picture is a delight. How it all fits together, and it brings to me a sense, for no reason, of a moonlit prairie. And it's like outstanding natural beauty, but also danger lurking at the edge of darkness just beyond the circle of the campfire. As I say, I haven't got a bloody clue what he's singing. It could be about the Dead Sea Scrolls or the latest Ben and Jerry flavor, for all I know. It could be at Stonehenge. It could be on the side of the Alps. I don't know where it's set, but my mind went there. So, but musically, it's sort of putting feelings or senses of things rather than complete images. And so what it does for me is it lets my mind wander and create its own scenarios and sort of color in the gaps in between the stuff that's coming at you, which is a really interesting sort of experience. And other bands do this as well, but I really appreciate it. It's a different kind of appreciation as compared to, you get a bit of that with like Radiohead as well. I know I've compared them to before, and lots of things I say will be the same as what I said before, and apologies. So anyway, at this point, and don't get me wrong, I'm loving it as well. So at this point, we learned that one of the guitarists is using a Duracell battery to slide up and down his strings. Now, I can't even explain why that is cool, but it assuredly is.
You're exactly right. Just the old double A, just up and down the deckboard, man. Like, oh,
I mean, I've seen lots of different things used, but I was like, oh,
it's so
Duracell, cool.
utilitarian. It's like, they make things for that, right? He's like, fuck it. I got this dead battery out of one of my pedals. I'm just going to roll with it.
I thought it was out the back of one of his old Furbies, but anyway. So the drummer starts to build, and then there's a bit of the old, again, I said this before in another reaction, a bit of the old Tom York vocalizing, more to come. And the song is clearly signposting another shockwave is coming. And then there's this 3-second bit where a guitar comes in with a riff that's just 3 seconds. And I was waiting for more, and it fades off into the maelstrom, And I fucking loved it. I had to pull it back just to hear that 3 seconds, because the sound of that guitar. I mean, each time they do something, it sounds slightly different to what it did before. And again, it's all this layering, and I'm really, really loving it. But yeah, so this guitar comes in, hear it, I love it. But like a gin and tonic on a warm summer's evening, it's gone in an instant.
Yeah.
And then I am reminded again how much I really love this drummer. He's outstanding from this point to the end. Not that it wasn't shoddy before, but there's so much interesting in his patterns, and he has a lovely balance of control and attack as well. Which, so there's more growling from your man, and the band are at their sort of heaviest incarnation at this point. And it struck me that if you'd have just stopped and played me the song from this point to the end, I'd have gone, nah, that's not musically, that's not for me. But because the song has grown organically to this point, it's so appropriate that I'm swept along, because it's not really, at that point when they're really going for it, it's not really my normal sort of thing I go for, but absolutely fine with this. There's more vocalizing at a higher end, which is very Tom York, and then we come to a sweaty end. And I would say this song's quite a dense song. I mean, which doesn't unfurl easily for scrutiny, and the structure's not as simple as loud, quiet. It's more to it than that.
Yeah.
And you can say that about most of the songs of those I've heard, but I was once again captivated, and it was a delight to listen to. It's such a musically intelligent approach, just fills me with even more admiration for this band than I already have. So yeah, loved it.
Yeah. When we did our the whole end of year shenanigans and picking out songs and everything, and you kind of said all these glowing endorsements, and then conveyed in no uncertain terms that you wanted to hear another track by these guys sooner rather than later, I thought, okay, we're going to go back to the well. We're going to go early with Oh Brother. It's not the earliest stuff we've ever done, because I think you listened to a track off one of their EPs that came out like a year or two before this. But this is their first ever full-length album that this track is featured on. And I also wanted to touch on what you said about Michael Martins, the drummer. He what their thing is, what they do is also touches on this whole not loud, quiet, but we get from loud to quiet, and we get from quiet to loud, but there's steps and there's levels to this shit. And for a drummer who, every drummer I've ever met, their intuition is to hit hard or harder. And there's it takes real skill to rein that in, because there's something, it's the most visceral of all the instruments. It's just primordial and right there in front of you. And you can feel, and your adrenaline can dictate with how much fervor you play. And it's usually on the heavy-handed side of things when you want to get really delicate and dial things back, and dynamics are so wildly important to the identity of this band that this guy understands that so well. He plays drums like a rhythm guitarist plays rhythm guitar, and that's touches here, hard strums there, and he knows how to play with that. And he's not just animal back there, which is always fun to watch, right? Like, don't get me wrong, like I love plenty of bands with guys that just go ape shit, but this guy's ability to know how to go with the flow is really something to admire in a drummer. And especially when they go in this band, he could so easily find himself just staying at that speed, but he doesn't. He falls back perfectly, and I really, really do admire him as a drummer. I'm glad that he stuck out to you as well and continues to when you check out these live vids.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say, yeah, you're spot on. And I think, I don't know, but I am told that no one fucking hit as hard as John Bonham, which is a classic. But I mean, he was skillful as well, don't get me wrong. But you kind of, that sense of touch that you're talking about, you kind of equate with jazz drumming, don't you?
Yeah.
Not particularly with rock drumming.
Exactly.
And that's the difference, you know.
Yep.
And someone like Ginger Baker, who's jazz trained, again, you can hear all that.
Yeah, no, that's an excellent example, actually. So really quick, we've already talked about a couple of them, but a quick recap of the members, because we have plenty of reactions on this channel where we go into these depth in these guys a bit more, but quick recap on the band members. Tanner Merritt, lead vocals and guitar, Johnny Dang on guitar, Jordan McGinn on guitar, Michael Martins on drums, and Anton Dang on that always thick as humidity pig shit bass that comes through, man. Oh my God. So the track Lay Down was featured on their first ever, like I mentioned, LP. The name of that LP was called Garden Window, which was released on November 15th, 2011. So they're sort of, the chronology of their discography is In Comparison to Me, which was an EP that came out in 2006. The Death of Day, which we've listened to some stuff off of, and came out in 2009. Then we had Garden Window, this full-length album, their third and final EP to date, which was Basement Window, that came out a year later in 2012. Disillusion in 2013. We've listened to stuff off Disillusion. Endless Light in 2016. We've listened to stuff off Endless Light. And then their latest album, You and I, which came out in 2020. So this album in particular was well received critically as their debut album. Alex Young of Consequence.net wrote, Garden Window feels really fucking loud and does this really fucking well, permitting slight intervals to absorb the scenery. Oh Brother spans across a wide spectrum of flavors and emotions here, and Garden Window is, by and large, a successful 11-track record that scrapes a wide palette to enhance each nuance tastefully, movingly, manically well, which I thought was a really interesting and well-put description of the album. An Absolute Punk review of the album had this to say: every now and again, a band will come along that will paralyze us with a sound built on grit, feedback, and cryptic auras stacked like triple pane glass wall, thickly layered in percussion, deafening guitars, and a guilt-ridden, beautifully sparked voice. All of these thoughts were running through my head the first time I heard Oh Brother's debut full-length Garden Window, and they continue to do so. And the same review would go on to expand upon this track in particular by saying, Lay Down is the crown jewel of the record and a contemporary framework in constructing a rock song that keeps you held through its workings of builds, decrescendos, and amps that go past 11. These tracks, the track's instrumental pacing and Merritt's voice against Dang's blunt bass lines make it cryptically mesmerizing. The soft hush of Merritt's voice immediately cranked up with the rest of the band during the first chorus is the sharp left that will violently grab you with each listen at the minute 30 mark. After the haunting bridge, the track just tears through your soul for almost 2 minutes, and that is what rock music should do to you. And we are going to jump in the lyrics here that you didn't catch any of, as I recall, which is also a running theme with these guys. So live, learn, and let it lie. Skip to the end to wonder why. And I will lay down. Here you'll find that we all are blossoms that blossom to fall apart. And I will lay down. So Abba Father, are you sleeping? As we toil through your garden's keeping. So I'll lay down and begin to grow right beneath your garden window. Keep your tired hands to ground as blood feeds the dirt to which you're bound. And I will lay down. Here you'll find that we've all been dead men, and I will lay down. So, Abba Father, are you sleeping as we toil through your garden's keeping? So I'll lay down and begin to grow beneath your garden window. So I don't know exactly what it's about, but obviously there are allusions to this death and decomposition and, regrowth or rebirth as something else. Your carbon's used for something else's carbon in the future, whatever it is. But there's something, I don't know, it's interesting. It does speak to me to the life cycle, this organic, like decomposing into the ground to become something new, these blossoms just blossom just to fall apart thing, how everything kind of, moves around in circles or figure eights. Kind of cool.
I got from that the kind of the swapping of imagery from a god figure and heaven to a gardener in his patch, and he's looking at everyone up through his garden window. That's the sort of thing I got from that. Like, just you read this with then, but yeah, which again is a more naturalistic approach, as you said, to things.
Yeah, that's definitely a theme that they're going with in this song, which I think is really cool. And I think it also bears worth mentioning that this is the album that was produced by Robert McDowell and Andy Hall of Manchester Orchestra. And there is a track, I believe, on which at least both of them are featured. I know Andy Hall features his lyrics on one of the tracks, or his vocals on one of the tracks, along with Tanner Merritt. And that's a really great track off this album as well. And I've got a lot more from these guys to bring, peppering in judiciously in the future on the channel. But yeah, I'm really glad you like this one, man.
So I know it was a break because of pandemic et al., but you said the last one was 2020, so we should be due another album soon, shouldn't we?
One can hope.
Get onto them. Get onto them.
Yeah, one can hope, because I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear what they because that's the other thing. Like they continue, they're who they are musically doesn't change, but some of the things that they do does.
Well, that's natural, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's always, love it or hate it, the anticipation to see where a band goes with their next sort of iteration of themselves in the form of an album is always fun to kind of look forward to and anticipate. So here's hoping, John.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with fans of bands, and I've been the same myself, is you hear a sound, you bloody love it, but it's a double-edged sword, because you don't want to listen to the same thing again and again, but then they go and change things, and half the time it's like, oh, this is even better, and then the other, oh, they've changed it, I don't like this.
Yeah. Yep. And then if they do come out with something that sounds like what was its predecessor, they end up just going, oh, they should have just made that a double album. It's like, no, motherfucker, you wanted a new album. You wanted a different album, and you wanted it to sound like the last one. Don't be saying this shit now. This ain't no Rubber Soul Revolver situation. Like it as it is.
You can't win, can you?
Yeah,
but
no.
There you go. That's the whole role of a music fan, is to give the band shit. As well as supported love.
Yeah, of course. Like a family member, except they're not. Yeah. So that's the thing. But yeah, I'm glad you like this one. I'm glad you are I guess we're batting 1,000 here with these guys from Atlanta, Georgia. So yeah, I'm really glad.
I would agree if I knew what that meant. So yeah.
You're batting 1,000. Yeah, it means you don't miss when you're at the plate. So
okay. Oh, rounders. Sorry, I forgot.
Yes, rounders, of course, our favorite sport. So yeah, thanks for giving this one a listen. Guys out there in the listening audience, let us know what you thought of this. God, now I don't even know what number we're up to, because they start to bleed from what we did into the music and what we've done here, but got to be our fourth. Yeah, I would say around fourth song that we've done by these. Let us know what you think of this track out there, guys, and what you think of Oh Brother. Use the comments field. It's there for a reason. We love interacting with you guys, whether it's like, suggestions or anecdotes, the tales of where you were the first time you heard this song, tales from where you were the last time you heard it. Whatever the case may be, we really enjoy interacting with you guys in the community we've built here. So keep that up. Also, if you're new here, think about giving this video a like, and the channel a subscribe. And if you're really feeling froggy, go ahead and share it with those you think would care. And stick around, man. We're always cranking out videos. We've got what, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. 4 of them are songs that John and I offer up, and one of them is devoted to you guys out there in the listening audience, kind of schooling us on stuff that we haven't heard before. And it's been working a treat thus far, so we really, really do appreciate it. And hopefully John and I will see all y'all and some more on the next installment of the Audiophiles. See you later, guys.